It's 46 Fahrenheit, really cold, and snowing in New York on Memorial Day. Donald Trump tweeted on the 27th of May, "Tell the so-called scientists that we want global warming right now." Wow. Years of school had me convinced the planet was warming. That is, until now. Time to discredit years of arduous data collection. The fact that in the last 40 years a quarter of those who were the warmest on record yet now faces rejection. Scientifically justified absorption re-emission of EM radiation by greenhouse gases is a mere recollection. Thousands of thermometers independently measuring steadily increasing planet-wide water temperatures should be up for inspection. It's as if clearly increasingly frequent weather hazards and the words climate change were devoid of any connection. Because screw all the data and facts. It's cold today. From the immense amount of information available to us thanks to the internet, we should of course all choose one single day. The idea of irreversible change to the planet frightens us, so we prefer to hide behind one data point and a shield of ignorance. Carefully selected scientific articles to convince ourselves we have sufficient evidence, or to forget about environmental changes that, like it or not, are frighteningly imminent. But Twitter does more than appease ignorant global warming deniers. It helps spread misinformation from influential liars, gives the younger generation an unjustified bias. Stopping the spread of fake news regarding climate on social platforms is crucial to prevent authorities from manipulating the public for reasons strictly financial. The two countries with the largest greenhouse emissions seem to also have the highest rates of global warming suspicions, all thanks to the lack of teaching in schools enforced by eco-unfriendly organisations and corrupt politicians. To help restore sustainable temperatures, we must get into the nitty-gritty of fiscal greed. Global warming has been proven to be a canard over and over again. The left needs a dose of reality, tweeteth Trump. And supposedly UK recycling waste is being sent to Far East rubbish dumps. As young people, we can stand up to these lies, organise civil disobedience and boycott businesses until they hear our cries, wage war between forward-looking unease and money-centred materialism until one wins and one dies. Does everybody get gluttonous with age, or is it just the 1950s batch? Is there anything we can do to ensure that as grown-ups we won't completely detach from our climate centre's goals that seem so clear now? We must carve our environmental ethics into our hearts and brains as much as devotion allows, to grow up running countries and companies while remaining truthful to our eco-friendly vows. If global warming was an illness, Earth's stage of it would be terminal. Too bad the only ones that care enough are those who'll have to see the outcome. Too young to do or say anything enforceable, we're doomed to see in 50 years what Earth will have become. Having children transmits this fear to future generations, and the carbon footprint of a new human would bring the Earth a footstep closer to its thermal damnation. So don't reproduce and donate to contraceptive charities in developing nations. Even a small amount of money can be significant to depleting Homo sapiens' inordinate population. Pay or volunteer to educate young women in a third world country, with the knowledge that Earth's climate crisis is real and having children is something you can avert and foresee, as well as a good-paying job preventing you from having to rely on offspring later in life, lying under the wonderful umbrella of a university degree. If you're lucky enough to have been born in and given citizenship of a democratic state, you have more power than you currently appreciate. Only 64% of young people choose to vote in the UK. Never decline such a glorious opportunity to participate in what can only be described as a truly awesome right granted to you for free in political debate. This is the voice you have to change the world for the better, a ticket into an exciting new dimension of freedom that far from everybody gets to enter. So don't be discouraged by the numbers of people voting for another political party or cause. When faced with the choice to speak or not, never pause until MPs start introducing new, effective and serious environmental laws. If you're too young to cast down a legal vote, the range of things you can affect is just as big in a ballot paper as in a simple banknote. Agriculture, forestry, and other land use are the second most polluting sectors of industry. But like any other company, they're forced to adjust to the public's financial activity. A large market exists to sell children's accessories, toys, and clothes. Think of that size of the market and of the economic blows the livestock market will receive if that entire community stopped consuming completely. If you still feel insignificant in this huge greed-driven plutocracy, recall the increasing number of adverts you see concerning vegan diets. That's because their market has a significant number of clients. Vegan, vegetarian, don't eat red meat or just abstain from beef. Be that person on a restricted diet that goes on and on about their achievement. Word of mouth is an excellent way to make others' choices to eat a sustainable meal that much more frequent. Give the future generations having to survive in the hell we created just a little relief. Don't learn to drive, instead take the tube, the bus. Also, you can read on public transport, which is great. Walk or bike to work or to school. Let everyone know that frequently flying abroad isn't cool. Transport is the fourth most polluting industry, so don't give them more fuel. Or, if you insist on travelling to all kinds of exotic places, pay more to offset your footprint on an ethical basis. If you can, don't get pets, as those are bad for the earth. Don't forget, just as money can kill, it can also give birth to great charities, such as the Global Cool or Renewable Energy Foundations. These will be able to make a difference with even the smallest of your donations. Remember, the monetary vote is a great means of political and environmental communication. Even beyond the commercial world, non-voters can make their voices clear and heard. Let the grown-ups know that their disregard for the climate is extremely absurd. Greta Thunberg is an imposing example, but from all the young activists, she is but a sample. Among individuals like Shalvi Shakshi, Timothy Knowles Lusala, Jaden Anthony, but you don't have to be famous to make an impact. The crowd protesting on Parliament Square has a non-zero level of authority, more than those who choose to make no such contact. Most importantly, you are not alone in your troubles and fears. Celebrities and politicians use influence acquired from their careers, and most of those asked will express their concerns for the warming planet, the human life-sustaining climate that only fools can take for granted. We will reap the poisonous harvest that our ancestors planted. But by cooking our food, we maximize our chances.